What's up, millennials? First of all, a very happy new year to you. I hope that your 2021 is going to be way better than your 2020 has been, and I also hope that you're staying healthy. So in this video, we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to take a look at my current portfolio, which is consisting of stocks and crypto as well. And in the end of this video, I'm going to show you what my ROI, my return on investment, has been for the year 2020. But before we start, two things first. First of all, I'm going to tell you that in this video, I'm not going to be talking about dollar amounts, but I'm going to be talking about percentages. Because I think that people are a little bit too worried about the actual dollar amounts and are not looking enough at percentages. So I think that percentages are more important. And sometimes showing the dollar amount can also lead to some jealousy and the feeling that you need like more money than the other person. So I'm going to try to avoid that, and I'm going to try to stay objective. And the second thing is that I'm going to be adding chapters to this video as well, just like my normal videos. So you can skip the boring parts or the parts that you don't find relevant at all. And yeah, you can just save a little bit of time if you need so. And I'm mainly creating this video to document my journey. It's not necessarily the case that I want to prove myself, even though sometimes people actually do give me that feeling a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Today we're going to be looking at lots of pie charts. I made several pie charts. And first we're going to take a look at the three main categories, which are in my case cash, crypto, and stocks. After that, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the category of stocks and also the category of crypto. Let's first talk a little bit about this allocation. First of all, let's talk a little bit about my cash position. Currently, it's sitting at 20%, and I'm fine with that. Currently I have a lower income as well because I'm switching from translation to this new project, which so far is mainly based on making these videos for YouTube, right? So that also means that my current income is a little bit less stable, less predictable as well. So I kind of need more cash than I would if I just kept on translating, right? And I think that's also a good guideline to have, that the more insecure your income, the higher your cash position should be as well. And vice versa also, the more secure your income, the more you can invest into stocks and cryptocurrencies, right? If you want to know a little bit more about that, about my business transition from translation to YouTube and other things, then definitely check out my other two videos in my business playlist. Definitely check that out. And apart from that, with regards to cash, I'm also going to need some extra cash to pay for income tax later on this year. So I need to reserve a little bit for that. So as you can see, the rest of the money is allocated to stocks and crypto. I've got about 48% of my net worth in stocks and about 32% in crypto. Also quite happy with that allocation, to be honest with you. The crypto allocation has grown quite a bit quicker than stocks, relatively speaking. And that's simply because Bitcoin has just appreciated quite a bit this year. So what we are going to do now is dive a little bit deeper into the part of stocks first, and then the part of cryptocurrencies as well, okay? So first of all, we're going to take a look at that 48% of stocks, into what kind of stocks I have put that. So let's go to the second beautiful pie chart over here. I've got my stocks in several categories, if you will. For now, I've divided them into three categories, which you can see on the screen right now. The biggest category is simply the long-term holds, 74%. Then the long-term sells, as I am going to call it for now, the 12% category. And then the last category is swing trades, which now is a 14% of my allocation in stocks, right? So the long-term holds, they should be quite self-explanatory. I simply want to hold these stocks for the long term, and that in my case is about 3 to 5 years, more or less. Now the long-term sells, the orange category of 12%, is a little bit more complicated because a few weeks ago I changed my long-term strategy a little bit. Now I kind of want my long-term portfolio to consist of industry leaders that could still grow at least 5x more or less in the next 10 years or so. I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in a minute. But yes, long-term sells are basically stocks that I had originally planned to keep for the long term. But now I've decided that these stocks don't fit my current long-term strategy anymore. And I'm also going to explain a little bit more about that as well. And the last category, swing trades, 14%. These should be quite self-explanatory as well. Just holding these stocks for a couple of weeks or months, depending on the technical analysis and also depending on the valuation. So some swing trades, as we will see, could eventually end up becoming long-term holds as well, but for now they are simply not. And my swing trades right now are mainly based on SPAC valuations and also technical analysis. So yeah, long-term holds 74%, long-term sells 12%, and swing trades 14%. For the next pie chart, we're going to be looking at the long-term holds. So again, these are companies or stocks that I want to hold for about 3 to 5 years, more or less. That could change, but usually I want to hold them for 3 to 5 years. These are usually industry leaders, and these are also stocks that potentially could grow 5x in the next 10 years. Of course, that's not a guarantee, but I do personally think that actually all of these stocks could grow 5x in the next 10 years. I'm not going to go into detail about each stock because that would simply take me a lot of time. So I'm just going to go through each of these stocks. I believe I have 15 stocks in there very briefly, all right? So we're going to start with the biggest position, which is Switchback Energy, SBE, currently sitting at 13% of my long-term holds. Switchback Energy is a SPAC that's going to acquire ChargePoint. ChargePoint right now is the leader in EV charging stations. And I've made multiple videos about this SPAC. I've got a lot of confidence in this stock as well. And the stock also more than doubled since I bought this stock. So if you want more information, check out my other videos about Switchback Energy. Second position is UAVS, which is Ag Eagle, a drone company. I also made a video about this stock as well. So far, Ag Eagle is the leader in agricultural drones, and they could also become a major player in the package delivery space, right? You're going to see that I have multiple drone stocks in this portfolio because I'm quite bullish about this niche. I'm simply not very sure yet, which company is going to be the leader in the world of package delivery via drones. But I do think it's going to be a massive industry. And Ag Eagle says that they're going to be partnering up with a major e-commerce company. We're not sure about which one just yet. There are rumors that it's going to be Amazon, but yeah, probably that is not true. I think that the likelihood of the probability is very low. And the company Ag Eagle also partnered with Valkyrie, which makes mailboxes for drones. And I think that's very important to have because that's already part of the infrastructure we're going to need for package delivery via drones, right? Third position is going to be Lemonade, LMND. This is the leader in digital insurance, and I see a lot of growth opportunity for this company. It's definitely a stock that I'm going to dive deeper on in this year. So if you're interested into this stock, then also definitely check out the interview with the CEO of Lemonade that Dave Lee on Investing did on his channel. It's a very interesting one. Number 4 is going to be Tesla. That doesn't really need any introduction, of course. The leader in electric vehicles. It's probably the leader, or going to be the leader in autonomous vehicles. It's probably going to be the leader in robo-taxis. And it's probably also going to be the leader in car insurance. So yeah, I don't really think I need to add anything to that. Next one is ALPP. This is Alpine 4 Technologies. I mainly bought this one because of their acquisition of Impossible Aerospace, which is a drone company. And this stock, I actually used this as a small swing trade. And then the stock went up literally 10x from the point where I bought it. So I did take some profits. And yeah, the stock price did correct a little bit since then. But I'm going to just hold on for now until I know a little bit more about which company could become the drone or which company could become the leader of drones, right? Alpine 4, or at least Impossible Aerospace, they have a focus on drones for first responders. So that means the police, firefighters, ambulances, etc. And right now it's currently trading on OTC, over the counter, but this might be included in the NASDAQ soon as well. So I'm at least going to wait for that to happen. And then I'll probably decide if I'm going to keep this in my long-term hold strategy or if I'm just going to get rid of it. For now, I just like to have it in there. Next one is TDOC, Teladoc. I already did some videos about Teladoc as well. This is the leader in the telehealth industry. So that's basically the remote healthcare, if you will. The stock hasn't done a lot in the last 6 months or so, but I do believe that long term it can appreciate quite a lot. And also one of my favorite institutional investors, ARK Invest, is also buying this one like crazy. So I love that. Next one is UPWK, which is Upwork. Yeah, it depends a little bit on who you ask. It's either the leader or a very strong number 2 in the online freelance workspace industry. The other company being Fiverr, of course. The last conference call, that was really great because the stock went up more than 40% the day afterwards. And I found this stock because of Jeremy from Financial Education and also because of Matthew Huo, great YouTubers in this finance space. Next stock is going to be CRSP. This is CRISPR Therapeutics. They are the leader in CRISPR technology. ARK Invest is also very interested in this stock, so I like that. And I think that they actually think also that the genomics space will be growing a lot this decade. I still need to dive deeper into CRISPR technology, but I'm definitely going to do that this year. So keep your eyes out open for that one. The next stock is going to be SHOP, Shopify, one of the biggest e-commerce companies out there, of course. We're definitely going to see more and more small merchants bringing their business online, so I'm very bullish about that. And I also like their CEO a lot. The next stock is going to be TPGY. It's also a SPAC that is going to acquire EVBox. I made a valuation video for this SPAC. I think it still has some room to go. And this is like the European charge point, if you will. So this is also going to be a major player in the world of EV charging stations. I do think that ChargePoint, so the company that's going to be acquired by Switchback Energy, will likely continue to dominate, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep EVBox, if I'm going to keep TPGY for the long term. But for now, I do want to see if EVBox can become a major rival for ChargePoint. So that's going to be an interesting battle, I think. The next up is CFII. This is a SPAC as well that's going to acquire View. I made a valuation video for this company as well. And I believe that this is actually one of the most undervalued and underhyped SPACs at this very moment. View is the leader in smart glass technology. It's a very interesting technology that I personally actually don't know enough about just yet. So you can definitely expect multiple videos about this stock and about this company in the next couple of months. Next stock is SQ. This is Square. This is the major point of sale payment company, mainly used by small businesses. This is also one of the major picks by ARK Invest, and the company is owned by Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, so I like that as well. Next stock is DocuSign, DOCU. This is, of course, the leader in digital signing of documents. This could become a very interesting blockchain company as well. I'm going to research a little bit more this year if this company is actually going to use blockchain a lot and if they're going to collaborate with Chainlink, which is one of the cryptocurrencies that I hold, which we're going to take a look at later on in this video. Then we have the stock WKHS. This is Workhorse. Third drone play in my portfolio over here. This is one of the major contenders, I believe, for the title of leader in the world of drones for package delivery. The thing is, they make electric trucks for UPS, and these trucks could be equipped or can be equipped with their own drone, so the Workhorse drone. And that means that they could have access to the infrastructure that is needed for package delivery at scale. So I'm very bullish on that as well. And then the last company is ZM Zoom. Probably doesn't really need an introduction either. We all probably have been using Zoom this year, or last year actually, 2020 of course. This is of course the leader in video conferencing tools. And yeah, more and more people are going to be working from home, and Zoom will be used even more than it is already now being used, I believe. Then the next category is going to be the long-term sales category. A little bit of a weird category maybe. So I had these in my long-term portfolio, so like the portfolio that we have just been taking a look at. But I want to sell these companies, these stocks, because they don't fit my current strategy anymore. So let's take a look. First of all, Alphen. The ticker symbol is similar or is exactly the same as the name of the company. Alphen is a Dutch company that works on EV charging stations and energy storage. It's a nice company for sure, but yeah, it's just not a worldwide leader, right? So still, they gave me some pretty good gains in 2020, but I'm going to sell at some point. I already took off about 1/3 of my position, but I'll continue to sell the rest as well at some point, and probably actually sooner rather than later. The second stock in here is Alibaba, of course, major e-commerce player as well. But yeah, I do see some heat underneath the Chinese stocks at the moment. And I'm not entirely sure if this stock can grow 5x in the next 10 years. It probably can, but yeah, for safety reasons, I'm just going to pass on Alibaba for now. Don't think I need to say anything more about that company. The third company in this list is HYLN, which is Hyliion. This is one of my biggest mistakes of 2020, I would say. I actually bought this company when it was still a SPAC, and the stock went up more than 100%, but I didn't take any profits because I didn't really know anything about valuations just yet, and I thought that it would go to the moon even more. But yeah, then it kind of dropped to the earth. I currently do think that it is undervalued, so that's why I still have it. But yeah, I don't think it's a very great long-term hold. I also believe that their current technology is a little bit like bridge technology, if you will, and that we might not even need that technology in like 10 years or so. So yeah, I'm just going to hold it for now and see what happens in the next coming weeks or months. Next stock is GLPG. This is Galapagos. It's a healthcare company from Belgium. I have owned this stock since the beginning of my journey, my investing journey. I started investing in stocks just last year in 2020 actually, and I've held this stock since the beginning. It had a very, very beautiful graph until they released some very bad news with regards to one of their most important treatments. Then I held on. Then a second piece of bad news came. I held on. Then the stock came down even more, and I kept holding on because I simply believed that it would turn around. And then we received a third piece of horrible news, actually. And yeah, the stock just crashed, and it came down until it reached a price where the market cap was actually the same as the amount of cash on their balance sheet. That's pretty insane. So I'm basically currently holding a company that's worth zero at the moment. I'm kind of going to wait until the next conference call to see what their cash position is like, and also what kind of plans they have for the future. I do think it's going to recover a little bit, but yeah, I'll get out quickly when it does recover quite a bit. And then the last company in this list is CDR, CD Projekt Red. Made a video about this company as well. It's a video game producer from Poland. A little bit a similar story as with regards to Galapagos. It had a beautiful graph until they released their hyped up game Cyberpunk 2077. The game was full of bugs, and they also sold less copies than expected. But yeah, now I do actually hear some more positive feedback from the players that are playing Cyberpunk 2077. So what I'm going to do is hold until their conference call as well to get a little bit more news from the company and more numbers as well. Then the last category of my stocks is the category of swing trades. So these are stocks that I'm going to hold for a few weeks or maybe even a few months. Right now, these are actually only SPACs. And yeah, I'm not going to go into detail, of course. I'll just quickly go over all of these companies, all of these stocks. First of all is Fuse. Fuse is a SPAC which I got in only based on the rumors that they're going to acquire BlockFi. BlockFi is a cryptocurrency company, a cryptocurrency play, and Fuse right now is also quite low, around $11, which means that it's very likely that it's going to go up on any news about the acquisition, because yeah, the bottom of SPACs is basically $10 right before the merger. The next company is BFT. This is a SPAC that's going to acquire Paysafe, and Paysafe is an online payment provider. It's mainly active in the world of gaming. I do like Paysafe, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to hold that for the long term. Next one is IPV. IPV is a SPAC that's going to acquire Ava. It's a LiDAR company, and I do actually think that LiDAR might become more important than we all expected, even more than Elon Musk expected. But because Tesla might actually be using LiDAR right now to train their artificial intelligence system or machine learning system. But it's a stock that is also quite low as well. I do expect some more upside there as well. Next one is NPA, a SPAC that's going to acquire AST Space Mobile. And that is a company that's focused on mobile communication via satellite. I'm actually quite interested in this one. I might even have this as a long-term hold at some point, but I still need to do more research into this company. Next one is GIK. It's a SPAC that's going to acquire Lightning eMotors, which is a company that is going to focus on electric trucks. I made a valuation video about this company as well, about Lightning eMotors, and it seems quite undervalued still. And then the last one is NGA. It's going to acquire Lion Electric. They're also focused on electric vehicles. I also made a valuation video about this one. I already took some profits, so that's why it's a little bit lower than the rest of these stocks. But yeah, it already reached my valuation, but it's probably going to go up a little bit more, and I'm just going to hold the rest of this swing trade until probably shortly before or after the merger. All right, so those were the stocks. Let's now take a look at my crypto portfolio, okay? So as you might recall, crypto was 32% of my current net worth. I currently have 4 cryptocurrencies. I've got Bitcoin, Chainlink, Ethereum, and Aave, or Aave. I'm still not sure how to pronounce it because some people say Aave and some people say Aave. But yeah, let's just go through these 4 cryptocurrencies. First of all, Bitcoin, 79% of my crypto portfolio. Doesn't really need an introduction, of course. It's the biggest part of my portfolio, my crypto portfolio. Of course, Bitcoin is the leader in cryptocurrencies, and I think it can still appreciate a lot this decade. I'm seeing a lot of demand from big institutional investors and also companies like Square and PayPal. And right now we're even seeing some companies putting their cash on their balance sheet into Bitcoin, like MicroStrategy did, right? I've got a whole playlist with good videos about cryptocurrencies and about Bitcoin on my channel. So if you need a little bit more information, then definitely check out if you haven't already. The next one is Chainlink, 10%. I believe this is going to be, or is already, leader of smart contracts in the cryptocurrency industry. I think smart contracts have a very bright future ahead, and it would be very nice to see a strong partnership with DocuSign. They have already been talking multiple times actually, but so far I don't really see a lot of things happening as far as I know. Then the second last industry is Ethereum. This is the number 2 cryptocurrency with regards to the market cap. And Ethereum is almost like a building platform where other cryptocurrencies build their technology on top of, right? Like Chainlink, for example, as well. And I'm definitely thinking that Ethereum can and will stay the number 2 in the world of cryptocurrencies. And then the last one, Aave or Aave, again, not sure how you pronounce it. It's one of the bigger cryptocurrencies related to decentralized finance. And I'm definitely going to dive deeper into the world of decentralized finance because I find it very interesting. So you can expect some videos about that this year as well, because it's an interesting industry for sure. And then finally, we're going to take a look at my return on investment for the year 2020. I'm going to try to keep this a little bit short. Actually, I'm just going to show you the percentages for 2020. These percentages are calculated by me. I simply took the starting point from January 1st of 2020 and the end point of January 1st, 2021. So that is today. If you look at the stocks, then you can see that my stocks appreciated 51% over the year 2020. I actually mentioned it before, but I started investing in stocks this year, or actually 2020, last year. So it's good to see that I at least beat the S&P 500 and also the Nasdaq as well. I believe the S&P 500 was up about 16% for 2020, and the Nasdaq was up about 47%. But yeah, there are also ETFs like the ETFs of ARK Invest, which still outperformed me by a lot. But yeah, again, I started in 2020, so it's going to be very interesting to see if I can actually beat ARK ETFs this year in 2021. That's going to be an interesting challenge for sure. Then with regards to my cryptocurrency investments, these appreciated 194.7%. I actually started with crypto a little bit earlier than with stocks. I started in 2019. I didn't have a lot of cryptocurrencies or just Bitcoin actually back then. And in 2020, I just continued to add to my positions. It has especially gone up quite a lot in the last couple of months. In November and December were just insane months for the cryptocurrency world, especially for Bitcoin. And I also think that 2021 is going to be an important year for Bitcoin as well. So as you can see, the total return on investment for 2020 has been 86.9%, a beautiful percentage, of course. As you can see, most of my money is in stocks, as you have been seeing in this video. So that, of course, has the highest weighing. But yeah, I'm still very, very happy with 86.9% for the year for 2020. Of course, that's not going to be sustainable, I believe, but as long as I keep beating the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, then I'm already quite happy. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing the results for 2021. Let's see what's going to happen this year. All right, so there you go. An overview of my portfolio, of my stocks and my crypto, and also a look at my return on investment for the year 2020. If you have any feedback or if you have any questions about my portfolio or about my return on investment, definitely let me know in the comments. And with that being said, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that I can provide you with a lot of value in the year 2021, so I'm looking forward to that. Thanks again and bye-bye.